The Dome of the Rock, the Temple Mount, is in serious trouble. I want to make it clear that this video is for entertainment purposes only. Either you agree or you don't. I'm making an astute observation. Now, I watched a segment on Redacted talking about the Ark of the Covenant possibly being under the Dome of the Rock. Now, I never heard of this, but once this was presented to me, I had to talk about it, and this has been a running theory for years.
Shall we talk Ark of the Covenant? Because I've been waiting to talk about this all day. New CIA documents just resurfaced from 1988 that claims the Ark of the Covenant is real, and we have a location for it.
Is it in Ethiopia because there's a lot of, Arabic-speaking people over there? No, it's under the Dome of the Rock.
The Ark of the Covenant is likely hidden away at the Vatican or at the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion.
There have been two major going theories in the Jewish community as to where the Ark of the Covenant is. One of them is that it's buried in the Temple Mount somewhere. The Jews saw the Romans coming and they're like, we are squirreling this away, and the easiest place to put this is like somewhere underneath here, which has been a going theory for a very long time. And then the secondary theory is that you guys have it.
At the Vatican?
It's at the Vatican.
Really?
Yeah, because there have been long-standing rumors that the Vatican inherited much of the wealth of the Roman Empire, and so after the fall of Judea, a lot of that stuff ended up being kept by the Catholic Church.
Wow. Because it's like you go into the museums and you're like, oh, there's that Raphael painting. But like, I don't know, man, you got the Ark of the Covenant, you're probably putting that in like the special locker.
If somebody were to have it, the Catholics aren't a horrible bet, considering that when you go through Rome, one of my favorite things is where it's just like a giant Egyptian obelisk, and then boom, stick a cross on it. It's like, this is ours now, bitches.
Eventually, our borders will extend from Lebanon, the Great Desert, which is Saudi Arabia, and then from the Mediterranean to the Euphrates. And then I believe we're going to take Mecca, Medina, and Mount Sinai and purify those places.
So creating Greater Israel is a thing, and they want to rebuild Solomon's temple. Now, how are they going to do that? Because the Muslims will go crazy if the Dome of the Rock is destroyed or the Temple Mount is disrupted in any way. Now, some say that the temple was beside the Dome of the Rock, but I guarantee you, with their arrogance, they're not going to want their temple and the Dome of the Rock beside it. I'm going to tell you what they're going to do, or try to do, but I want to mention this first.
And that the U.S. government will do anything, no matter how much it costs, to save and protect Israel. I think there's a lot of Israelis who probably think that way too. But an objective, rational assessment of the situation would paint a very different picture. I think Israelis need to recognize, if they don't already, that the United States is not your savior. It's your worst enemy.
Keep your friends close and your enemies even closer. How do you keep your enemies even closer? Well, you have to spy on them, of course. Better yet, you pretend to be their best friend in the world, U.S.-Israel relations. You do whatever you can for them, be there whenever they need you, and when the time is right, you do what you need to do in order to destroy them. It's that simple. The Secret War Against the Jews. Now, there is a letter by Albert Pike that was supposedly done in 1871 predicting the 3 world wars. The so-called Albert Pike letter of 1871 was first publicly mentioned in the 1950s by William Guy Carr, a Canadian conspiracy theorist, in his book Pawns in the Game. However, even Carr didn't claim to have seen the letter himself. He said it was extracted from the writings of Cardinal Jose Maria Caro, a Chilean Catholic leader. So, the First World War and the Second World Wars were predicted exactly in that letter by Albert Pike, supposedly in 1871, but it is said that this letter was exposed in the 1950s, so it could have been written after the fact, but how do we explain the prediction of the Third World War? Given what is happening in Gaza and what Israel is doing in other parts of the Middle East, you would think that the Muslim nations would retaliate, but if the Dome of the Rock was destroyed, that would be a huge incentive. But the Israelis are not dumb. They are going to get another entity to destroy the Dome of the Rock, or make it appear that it was destroyed by that entity. Now, who would that entity be? Iran, of course. But Iran is not stupid enough to purposely destroy the Dome of the Rock. They would never think about doing that. Now, the only way to make it appear that Iran destroyed the Dome of the Rock is to start a war with Iran, which is what they want to do. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the State of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Now, the only way I could see that happening is if Israel tries to blame the destruction of the Dome of the Rock on Iran, and then the Muslims find out that no, it was Israel that did it. Then there'll be a war between the State of Israel and the Muslim world, and the United States, of course. They will have to defend Israel. But then again, they say that Albert Pike letter is a conspiracy theory. Even though it seems that it's leading up to that scenario. What do you think?